Well, good evening, everybody. This is John here. I'm going to be starting my new adventures. This is John's Retirement Adventures. I'll talk about what this is about, and then I'll talk about myself and what I'm going to hope to do in the future. So, this channel, this videos will be all about me in my retirement and where I go and what I do. It's going to be light-hearted. It's not going to be anything really informative as in finances or anything like that. It's all about what I get up to, the adventures, what I do in my retirement, what I don't do maybe. There's a lot of stuff out there about how to manage your retirement and everything else. And that's not what this is about. This is all about just being retired and what you can do and what I'm going to attempt to do and probably what I shouldn't do. All of that is going to be documented, but I'm not going to do regular ones because I'm retired. I don't want a regime where I have to put out a video every week because I have to do it. That's like going back to work. I'm here, I am doing my retirement. I hope to have a long retirement, but there's no guarantee that you'll wake up in the morning. So I'll treat each day as it comes and be glad what happens. So that's what this channel is going to be about in the future. So who am I to waffle on about all this? Well, my name is John. I'm 65. It's the end of November today, 2024. At the end of next month in December, I shall be 66. I will then be entitled to my British UK old age pension. And on top of my works pension, I can retire. I wouldn't say I was well off, but I wouldn't say I was badly off. I'm a kept man. My wife's still working. I don't mind being a kept man. Sounds quite good, really. Being married to a younger woman, it sounds so much better. Anyway, that's my personal bit. Me, I was... my parents, my mother's Malaysian. My father is true dyed-in-the-wool Yorkshireman. He was in the army when he met my mum, and I returned to this country, and for the first 5 years, 6, 7 years, I moved around the country and then settled in a place called Lincoln, or just north of it. And my parents lived there for 52 years, moving out 4 years ago, and my father dying shortly afterwards. And my mother, who's 94, is still going, telling me that she takes no tablets, etc., etc. So I ignore her. She's also all of 4'9" tall now, but there are some people still out there who find her frightening, especially her ex-students, schoolgirls that she used to teach. I left school with very little qualifications. I wasn't stupid, I just didn't realise you needed them. So I went to college, got loads of qualifications, started work surveying on motorways and dual carriageways. Hated the job. I wanted to be a plumber, but in the 70s there was no apprenticeships. Everything was in the doldrums. So by 1982 I started nursing, and I have no idea why I started nursing. Just off the cuff idea. In fact, I went to 4 interviews, 2 of which said I wasn't nursing material. But one took me on, and I worked all over the country as a nurse, and I was an advanced nurse practitioner on an island called Shappensea, which is the most wonderful island you can imagine. And Shappensea is just north of the mainland Orkney. And Orkney is just off the coast of the northern Scotland. Just go to John O'Groats and go another 7 or 8 miles, and that's where Orkney starts. It's a whole different world. And until I came here 12 years ago, and I've been here just over 12 years, I had no idea of the place. I was ignorant of it. I knew roughly where it was, but not quite. And now I love the place. So in my retirement planning, of which there's very little, I don't plan to stay here. And I don't plan to leave, because I just said, why plan? But I'm enjoying living in Orkney. I live just outside of the place called Kirkwall, which is the main city. And the people are extremely friendly, the crime is low, litter's so much less than down south. It's just a wonderful place. Almost, I think, like it was when I was in the 1970s, that sort of feel. But it's not backward. It's just a wonderful place. So I've set myself up here. I have 3 sheds, 4 at the moment, but I've just put a new one up this last couple of weeks, ready for my retirement. And the 3rd shed I've had before, that's been moved to my son's house, so I'll be back down to 3. But the new shed is much bigger than the one I'm giving away. My adventures will probably involve lots of motorcycling and fixing and mechanicking and braking and swearing, because I have had motorcycles since I was 12. Long before my parents knew I had motorcycles, I kept them in other people's houses. And for the first probably 10 years, I spent most of my time riding, braking and crashing them. Lost a few friends on the way, unfortunately. And I've always had motorcycles. I've got a few here. I'm not saying how many I've got, but you can never have enough. You just need another shed. And that's what I tell people. But who knows? Anyway, after nursing, I had to leave that because 8 years ago I became ill with mental health and had to retire early. But I was too young to retire. I was only in my late 50s. So I became a car park attendant for Historic Environment Scotland, which is like the English heritage of Scotland. And I was a car park attendant for the first part of the year, telling people not to park in the car park, but to go away to another one, which to me was a really good job because I didn't do a great deal. But it got me out and it got me going. I then, when I finished that, because it's a seasonal job, I developed heart disease. Well, it was probably developing. I ended up having stents fitted twice. And now, since then, I've been fine. But whilst I was recovering, I did set up and ran Orkney Trike Tours, which is running a great big customised trike and taking people on tours around Orkney. Of course, everybody said it ain't going to work, and it did. And it stopped this year simply because the insurance business has decided that they will no longer insure trikes for business use, only for private. So I couldn't get, for private hire, I could not get any insurance. And this was for all trike businesses in the UK. So we all went to the wall. I was also a tour guide. In fact, I am a qualified tour guide, which doesn't mean a great deal. I've actually got all the Scottish tour guide thing and Orkney tour guide thing, but I don't really hold much to it. It's, well, I mean, it is useful, tells people I've got something in between my ears, but I think if you were common sense and did lots of talks and visits and whatever, you could learn to do it. I have learnt in the last 7 years how to set a business, how to run a business, how to do accounts, how to fix a trike that you need fixing in the morning for a tour, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and it's jacked up with no wheels on it. It's an interesting few days. Various things like that. I just really loved being nursing, and I just really loved being a tour guide on a trike. And as I tell everybody, a tour guide on a trike meant I was a professional motorcyclist. If only I'd known that when I was 16, life would have been so much easier. If I'd have known that later on, I'd have been one of them. Anyway, that's faded. So I'm retiring end of this month, or the end of next month, should I say. I no doubt will be doing the odd tour if somebody asks me to do it. And I'm suspending everything for at least a year. I'm going to review it in next November, December, what I'm going to do the year after. I might do a few more tours because I do like doing them. When you take somebody on a tour, it's like going on a holiday with them and you're showing them around Orkney. That isn't work. That's just pleasure. But anyway, how lucky I am, we'll move off from that. We're going to go look at the future of what I'm going to do here. Well, I'm in the main shed. This is the workshop. You can see all the stuff on the walls and various other things around hanging off the ceilings. I've got 2 motorcycles in here at the moment. Usually I've got 3, if not 4. But with the new shed, I'm being able to move them about. I'm still in the middle of reorganisation, so I'm not quite sure how it's going to go. I have a powder coating oven. I have shot blasting compressor in here. And a lot of bits and pieces and tools. The last 5 years, I've been getting ready for retirement, and I have been investing. As I tell my wife, I'm investing by saving money buying tools because it saves money in the future. I don't think she believes me, but as in the same way as I don't believe that she only bought those shoes a month ago when she tells me I've had them for ages. I'm sure she's had them. She's got plenty of shoes and plenty of bags, do we just say, but enough of my wife, otherwise I'll be getting into trouble again. This page will not be about politics. It will not be about religion. I am a person who thinks those subjects are for outside of my shed. Inside of my shed, it's all about what I'm doing in here. I accept people for what they are, whatever race, creed, colour of skin, religion you are. If you treat me right, I'll treat you right. That's it. I just don't see the problem that so many people have out there. So the world will be a fair place in here, a place to escape the outside world of sometimes nastiness, sometimes fun. And this in here and my adventures or misadventures will be anything and everything. Some of my failures, no doubt, will come out, as well as some of my successes. I've done plenty of failings. My mechanics has had lots of failings, but I get better. And in another 50 years, I shall nearly got it. But in the meantime, I shall keep practicing doing it. So I'll post up underneath all the contacts and stuff because I am setting everything up new. So that it becomes retirement adventures. This is what this page is going to be called. And I shall be probably putting a Facebook, something similar to it, but I haven't got around to that yet. mainly because I've not figured out how to do it. Because me and technology aren't always the brightest, although I can manage if I keep going, but I have to work on it. And the great God Google is the font of all knowledge when you want to do anything like that. So this is me finishing this video, telling you where I'm going to be. It's a bit of a ramble. Look out for future videos, it'll be much more exciting. And from here, from John and from Orkney, on a very wet evening, may your God go with you, and good night.